Shall we rapid fire it up?
Yeah.
Do it.
All right. So Mario posted on our community tab, and I quote, Sunday Drive returns tomorrow. So you know what that means. Donuts and coffee, but also hashtag signature rapid fire show. Post your questions below. Get highlighted on an episode of Hashtag Sports. And go. Well, I think there's no reason to start with anybody else but Daniel Gary's
OG. Thank you, Daniel.
Angel cream donuts and white bagels with butter. Here we go. That's fair.
You got half of it.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, you did mix it up with the expensive McMuffin over there.
Hey man, we're rolling it over here at hashtag.
Just put it on our tab.
So we got.
All right. Hopefully, no more convenience store cold wings with cucumber ranch dressing or Pat's jerseys. So that's a callback to when I lost a bet. And
4 years ago.
4 years ago.
I'm an OG.
And wear a Tom Brady jersey and eat wings that Mario bought from a gas station, and he didn't have ranch. He got cucumber ranch dressing. That was dreadful.
Don't lose a bet.
That was dreadful. In hindsight, I did not preface where the wings couldn't come from. My fault. I learned my lesson.
He thought that I would have been a decent human being.
I just ordered them from some local pizzeria the night before.
Yeah, because they're all, I was gonna say, because they're all open at 8 a.m.
Yeah, right. No, it came in like some questionable, like looking Chinese food container that like you get General Tso's in. It was brutal. It was brutal.
How dare you soil the name of General Tso?
Ooh, kill him!
Or whatever. Gary's actually have a question. Gas up the studio and let's roll. Hashtag Sports Nation. I have not read any of these.
I love that opening though.
All right. Let's see. We'll go to Miguel, another OG.
Yes.
Thank you, Miguel. Do you think the Bills OC or DC will get a head coaching job? How many coaching vacancies do you guys think will open up? And how would you guys feel if the Bills beat San Fran, the Rams, and the Lions, drive safe? Well, I mean, elated that you got through the hardest part of your schedule. I think at that point it becomes about playoff seeding, because you go Pats, Jets, Pats.
Right. And I don't know. Do you think that the Buffalo Bills do what the Kansas City Chiefs did to the Bills and let them win to inflate their confidence?
God. Did somebody really say that?
Yes. All of the Chiefs fans are saying Reed's playing the long game. He let the Bills win to inflate their confidence so that they can beat them back.
We'll lose it in the playoffs. It's okay.
How asinine is that?
Well, okay, so let's just talk about the validity real quick. The Bills do have a winning record against the Chiefs with McDermott in the regular season. Okay, that has been said.
Yes.
Okay, that's been said. So I understand why people would feel that way, as dumb a statement as it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty dumb statement.
But you're just grasping at straws at that point. It doesn't make any sense. But if the Bills come out of the bye and they beat San Francisco, Detroit, and LA, realistically puts them at 12-2. You're walking essentially. I know there's no easy wins in the NFL. I mean, we just saw the Browns. They have 3 wins on the year, and one's against the Ravens, one's against the Steelers. Okay, I mean, there's no easy wins. But you feel at that point you're going to dog walk those 3 teams at the end of the year.
Yeah.
If those are 23-17 games, no, everyone's going to worry, but us.
Right.
Who cares? But the point being is this. What was the first part of the question?
No! God, please, no!
How would you feel if they beat them, and then you start talking crap about the KC fan base? That was the question.
Well, I never missed an opportunity. No, I feel pretty confident. Obviously, a lot of people are going to say that when the Bills play Detroit, that could be a preview of the Super Bowl. And what 2-star franchises need to go ASAP?
Yeah, I know.
Well, Detroit's not win, right?
I would not be mad if the Bills lost to Detroit. Part of me would not be mad.
Get out.
I just said, get
out.
I rephrase. Part of me would not be mad.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah, the relationship that Wilson and Ford had when the Buffalo Bills got snowed.
That's what I mean. Like, part of me is like, you know what? I don't lose. Part of me doesn't lose here, so that's fine. But to get back, how many head coaching vacancies do you think will open up? Dable. I think the Giants are looking for a head coach and a GM. I think they've made that very clear. They're just going to run with what they got for the rest of the year. They released Daniel Jones. So, that's definitely one.
So
you almost
Mike McCarthy has to go.
Mike McCarthy in Dallas has to go. I think the Bengals are probably a bit more frustrated with their coaching situation that they're letting on right now. So I think the Bengals are a sneaky candidate to look for a new head coach.
Has he fired a DC yet? Zach Taylor?
No.
Well, then he still has that chip to play.
Yeah.
Because it's not Joe Burrow's fault.
You're right. Usually when the seat starts getting high, you start seeing coordinators get fired.
Yeah. So if he loses a couple more games and you see the DC, like if they lose the games like 35-28.
Yeah.
So listen, we're putting up enough points to win games. Joe Burrow is leading the league in touchdown passes and yards.
Right.
That's something that happens. Like, listen, I'm an offensive guy. My defense is failing me. Fire the defensive coordinator, which everyone knows the business in the NFL, that's what happens.
Yeah.
All right. But once you play that card,
yeah.
Like McDermott has played both of them now.
Yeah. There's no takebacks.
Yeah.
That you get that season. There's no takebacks.
Yeah. So I think he may survive another year if he fires the DC. But, you look around the league, I'm just talking about strictly from Brady and Babbage. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing that is a little bit twisted. If the Bills make a very deep playoff run, a lot of those coaches are hired before the playoffs start.
Yeah.
Because you have Black Monday, where they all get canned, and then they want their guys in there immediately.
Right.
So if you're in the playoffs, you have to request permission to talk to those coaches.
Right.
And sometimes they let them, sometimes they don't. Anyway, that being said, if the Bills win the Super Bowl, it happened with Bruce Arians. When they went and then they won, all the jobs were filled by the time that happened. So,
well, I will say that Babbage, I think Brady gets talked about, right? Because you look at the success of the offense, you say he's going to get talked about. And he was talked about when he was in Carolina too. So this isn't a new thing. Yeah. But Babbage probably gets more attention early because of the lineage, right? Because his dad was a very well-renowned linebacker coach who, again, just kind of circled around defensive coordinator conversations.
Oh, yeah, it's all about connections too.
Right. So the lineage probably makes Babbage more attractive, but I don't think any organization would hire a first-year coordinator to be a head coach. That's craziness. That's foolish.
It's weird. I mean, weird things that happen. I mean, you remember when Raheem Morris was first hired?
Yeah.
Like, he didn't really have huge credentials in the NFL, but I mean, I think of it this way.
Anthony Lynn.
Yeah.
Anthony Lynn got that job in San Diego.
And he did a wonderful job. I mean,
with what he had.
That's what I'm saying. That's what brings me to my point. Yeah. You can look at Brady, look at Babbage in and of themselves. And this is not talking trash to Brady, but he was, like you said, he was talked about more than Babbage. And here's why I would give the nod of Babbage over Brady. Brady, we saw what he was able to do in Carolina, which wasn't much, and we see what he's doing up here. You look at what Babbage has done. He lost Milano. He lost the starting two safeties. Yeah. A lot people could say that it's McDermott. You could. That's fine. But what he's been able to do with the talent that he's acquired and the talent that he lost, especially with this defense and the second half adjustments he's able to do, he's done more with less than Brady. Now you look over at Brady and you got Allen. If he doesn't have Allen, has Brady even talked about?
Right.
So I would give Babbage the leg up, even though Brady has more experience calling and being that. But I don't think either of them leave after this year.
No, I agree. I think you'll hear the circling rumors, but I think they're still both. I mean, Brady probably, if they're going to interview anybody between the two, it's likely Brady because he had been a coordinator in previous stops. So it would be Brady most likely. Next year, I think Babbage jumps to the top of the list.
Oh yeah,
I think that's the way that.
And it's rare for defensive coordinators to jump.
Yeah. Go to Tyler the Creator. What about going over the next 3 years or so of draft capital? You could both maybe talk through how you think they allocate funds and who they make the big dollar commitments to and who they move on from as a starting point. Looking forward to more content. So we did talk about this in another episode.
Can you CC Truck Reviewer on that one?
So first off, the Bills are taking a very interesting approach in draft capital because they love to acquire third, fourth, and fifth round picks, right? They just want to hoard those picks because those are what you need to be liquid in the draft, right? Like as the draft plays out, some years it takes multiple firsts to move up, some years it doesn't, right? So they always like to hoard in those third, fourth, and fifth round picks. Great, right? Love that. Cool. I approve of that strategy. With that being said, we did talk about who, from a starting standpoint, could become a liability for you between Cooper, Milano, even to a point, Rousseau, and those are premium positions, right? So you hear being talk about this all the time. Premium positions. Those premium positions are positions the Bills do not want to spend money on in free agency. That's why the Von Miller signing was so weird, because they don't spend money in free agency at premium positions. Those premium positions are cornerback, wide receiver, defensive end, cornerback. Those are your premium. Left tackle, right tackle, just tackle in general. Those are the positions the Bills will always draft. Every year, they're going to walk out with 3 of those 5. Every year. Because they're premium positions. You never know what you're going to get. You drafted Spencer Brown. Now you paid Spencer Brown a bunch of money.
Or
you drafted Deion Dawkins. Now you're paying Deion Dawkins a bunch of money.
Or
what? What? Or what?
Or a position that you don't want to pay money on.
Right.
Talk about just strictly about the draft.
Yeah.
Because they're going to draft a running back every year.
That's correct. Yeah, that's also correct. Right. So, and I mean, you get the occasional reprieve from that, right? They might take a break from it this year because Cook and Ray Davis seem to be a solid duo.
Yeah, and they're both on rookie deals. It's fine.
Right, yeah. So you probably see a break from that, but the fact still remains, that's how they approach the draft. So when you have all those mid-round picks that they love to get, those are the positions they often like to focus on. So with that being said, when you look at players that they move on from, that mirrors what they're likely going to draft, right? That's why they re-signed Trey, but once Trey got injured, it was like, dude, we can't wait this out any longer, right? Unfortunately, safety is not a position that's seen as a premium position, and they had the shield of Hyde and Poyer for a really long time. And I'll be honest, I will pack DeMar's bags and drive him out of town myself. Like, I'm so tired of watching DeMar play safety for this team. I'm so tired of it. So I'm excited at the prospect that maybe you draft a safety. I know they drafted Cole Bishop. Haven't seen Cole Bishop a whole lot, but maybe Cole Bishop works out, right?
Yeah, hopefully he does.
But again, when you're drafting third, fourth, fifth round players, you have to play the long game. So, long view of the draft and capital, right? The Bills are going to continue to acquire those third, fourth, fifth round picks however they can, so they can be liquid in the draft. They're going to focus on those premium positions, and when they draft a third, fourth, or fifth round player, they expect that player to be a starter in 2 seasons.
Yeah,
right.
Not right away.
Right. They don't expect them to start right away. You see that with Carter, right? Carter was rotational until he got hurt. And I remember covering the draft, and we were dumping on that pick. Carter.
I did. Well, I mean, we did the customary
reaction.
Oh, he's a former wrestler. He has pedigree.
I know.
He's a captain, and the things that it's hard to argue the things that they look for.
Yeah.
Because they want the players to police themselves.
Yep.
And they want them to be accountable, and they want them to have a little bit of character. Now, I wouldn't mind having 1 or 2 villains on the team. That's just me. But apparently at One Bills Drive, they know a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
All right. Thanks, Tyler. Okay. Next up, Mr. Ghostface85. Do you think Lamar is so concerned with acquiring MV3 that King Henry's production has taken a back seat? We talked about Derrick Henry on an episode that I don't know if we ever aired.
Nope.
So we talked about Derrick Henry's production at the end of the season. And for quite some time, Derrick Henry has not played cold weather football at the end of the season. It's very hard, actually, to find Derrick Henry in the snow on tape. Like, it doesn't happen on the football field for him very often. So how is Derrick Henry at his age going to play cold weather football? I think is a very fun conversation.
I think the age is irrelevant because he's not human.
Okay.
So
He's a horse. It's great.
I was looking for a particular shade. No, you bring up a great point. Obviously, Father Time beats everybody.
Yeah.
So you have to realize the fact that he hasn't played in cold weather games. I don't know if Lamar is obsessed with winning his third MVP award.
Yeah.
Normally, 12 out of the last 15 years, if you're a quarterback who's been on the team with the best record, you've won it.
Right.
The only other 3 times you weren't on it, it was Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, and Adrian Peterson. Were the 3.
Yep.
And yeah, in 2012. And Henry's stats are mirroring
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson from that 2012 season.
Right.
He might rush for 2,000 yards.
Yeah. But running backs don't win the MVP. If Christian McCaffrey can't win the MVP,
Oh, I was so stupid last year.
yeah, a running back will not win it. I know what Derrick Henry is doing is impressive, but the fact of the matter is, I mean, maybe in retrospect, if they could give a post-mortem MVP to Christian McCaffrey, knowing what San Francisco now looks like without him, can they do retroactive MVPs and say, yeah, we got that one wrong?
I that's what I hate. It's like the offensive player of the year has been the consolation prize
I know.
for them doing all this stuff. It's like, we didn't give you the MVP, but here's an OPOY.
It's like giving somebody the Silver Slugger Award in baseball. They're
Oh
like,
my
good
God.
job, champ. Good job. Here's a bat you can't hit anything with.
The Lady Bing Trophy. Here's a bet you can't.
What they give him? They give him a silver bat.
What?
That's phenomenal.
Okay, a couple more pieces to that. A few weeks ago, there was chatter that the Ravens had 2 MVP candidates, but Henry's touches have since decreased. Is there any chatter behind that? Again, with usage, I think you just mentioned, age gets everybody.
Yeah.
They lose the game to the Steelers. I think at some point you look at it and say, yeah,
He had what, 19, 20 something carries? Give the man the ball.
yeah. Also, is Lamar overrated, and why is the answer yes?
I don't believe he's overrated. He has.
Has Lamar improved as a quarterback in the last 3 years? I think the answer there is yes. He seems more calculated than he has in previous seasons. Have we seen the peak of Lamar's maturity? I think the answer there is also yes.
Here. Oh yeah, go ahead.
So, ultimately to me, the question isn't is Lamar overrated? It's, can you put the team around him to best utilize his skills? They've seemed to be able to do that, but as his skills deteriorate, which everybody's waiting for, that's when all the naysayers will come out and say, see, I told you so.
And that's unfair to Lamar. I think
I agree.
A lot of the things that are going on with Lamar, people like to just bring up arguments that, what do they call straw man?
Yeah.
Straw man argument, just to argue the other point. But here's the thing. If I was to compare Lamar to Mahomes, which it's hard to, because we even tried comparing Mahomes to Allen, and you had I still think it's the greatest comparison that you've ever made. Allen plays the quarterback position like a center fielder. Mahomes plays like a shortstop. So it's hard comparing those guys. It's like apples and oranges.
Right.
To me, when I look at Lamar and I look at Mahomes as a guy who he's a kid he's born into a wealthy family. Lamar seems like a kid that was born into a poor family but won the lottery. They both have the same amount of money, but only one knows how to use it and is used to using it. So in that respect, so what do they try to do? They try to give Mahomes weapons, and they try to give Lamar weapons. So what they, like you said,
until Kansas City can't afford weapons.
Yeah, I mean, no, but what you said was right. Is they try to surround him with as many weapons as they could, because truth be told, when Lamar came into the league, they used his skill set as it was.
Yeah.
And they were able to have success, so they didn't touch it.
Right.
Allen came into the league by comparison, was completely raw, and was like a square peg round hole. Yeah.
Turnover.
So he learned how to play the quarterback position in today's NFL.
Yeah.
And Lamar, for the most part, since they switched coordinators away from Roman, is still
Well, I mean, that's a totally different argument, though, Mark.
Yeah,
Maybe this is another episode for this week.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But
you know, because Lamar had Roman for a really long time. Allen has not had a consistent offensive coordinator. Like, I think it's a totally different argument.
Another reason why, once you develop a quarterback, he's able to work with anybody himself.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're very different conversations. Is Lamar overrated? I can't say the answer is yes. I think the answer there is no.
I don't think he's MVP if that's means overrated.
That's where I think, right. I think it depends on your definition of overrated, right? Should he have won 2 MVPs? I will give you the first one, right?
Yeah.
I will give you the first one.
Mm-hmm.
But MVP number 2, I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I do not feel that was rightfully awarded to Lamar. But that's an opinion. Clearly, we're not on the right side of that because there's people that vote on that stuff. So, Mr. Ghostface comes back again, a different one. Which teams do you want to see the Bills play in each round of the playoffs, and who would you prefer to avoid? You want to be on the opposite side of Kansas City. You okay then?
No, I'm good.
You want to be on the opposite side of Kansas City, right? Preferably in the 1 spot, Kansas City in the 2 spot, so you can go back and slay the dragon at home, right? In the AFC Championship game, that's what I want, right?
It's deja vu.
But I also wouldn't mind Kansas City having to play a strong team and them lose in the first round.
Pittsburgh.
So, yeah, like...
I would love for them to lose to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, like Pittsburgh doesn't scare me at all.
Okay, do you want the logical, rational answer, or do you want the superfan answer?
Oh, wow, I'm going to take superfan answer.
Yeah, it don't matter who they play. They beat everybody.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
But you got a point. I mean, I think just see. I don't want any part of Pittsburgh. I don't want any part of LA.
Okay.
I know that's gonna sound weird. I would rather play Denver because McDermott's record versus rookie quarterbacks has been very, 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 very good.
Okay. And what Denver did to Kansas City doesn't scare you after having played Kansas City?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. I know that's
Just the argument, just making sure.
it's
Okay.
not comparable because
Yeah.
teams are going to approach different teams different ways. And I mean, when we go through it, I really don't want any piece of Baltimore or Kansas City at all. Like
These are all playoff teams. You're running out of playoff teams that you don't want to.
what I'm saying is, I don't mind playing Houston again. I think they dog walk Houston. I really do. I think they don't. But the interesting part's going to be is, can you get Baltimore and Kansas City on the other side of the bracket?
Yeah.
And that's going to be the key. You have to be Baltimore and Kansas City would have to be 1 and 4,
Right.
so that you're able to take out Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be the difficult part about it.
Yeah.
And then it depends on how Denver and LA perform because they're going to do well. Man, it's tough, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very tough.
Yep.
But like, I see positives and negatives to playing all those teams. The only reason why I would probably want to play Kansas City or Baltimore is just familiarity. I think you can do better adjustments against Baltimore next time to take Henry out of the game, which you didn't have a lot of players that game.
No,
You didn't.
no.
Oh.
Yeah, you were hurting. I mean, again, we talked about Milano. Milano's likely back. Not that Milano's been strong in the run game, because Milano has historically been a league average run defender.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with
League
that.
average run defender.
I don't know.
But I think you'd take league average at this point.
Yeah.
Right? I think you'd probably take league average at this point.
Stop tackling nameplates.
What's up with not doing Sunday drive videos for 2 years? Did your insurance company find out and jack up your premiums?
No, it was COVID jacking up the gas prices.
Yeah, right? Caden, looking ahead, say 10 or 20 years in Josh's career, what do you think it looks like? Will he be remembered as this great player, but his greatness is overlooked because he never won anything? Will he be the only one who can consistently beat Mahomes? And what kind of lasting memory will he have with his teammates and coaches, etc.? First off, I want to point out that Amari Cooper talked about the culture in Buffalo, right? Saying what he said. He said after the Kansas City game that he made a comment about how like elated he was to win a game, like how great
Brought
it felt.
joy.
It brought joy to win. I was like, man, you're just just down the 90, man. Like, is it really that rough down the 90? Like, but he also brought up the fact that this is a very tight-knit team where players call each other, they hang out with each other. And that's Josh. Josh is a small town kid, right? And I think he's very accountable to his players. He wants to be available to his players every time. And maybe the Bills just released the footage that you see, right? But Bills players will call Josh when they're filming segments for the Bills, and he always answers. Just like, what's up? Like, right away. Hey, what's up? Just call and say, I love you. Oh, I love you too.
All right, go Bills.
Go Bills. Right. But I think that's being very accountable, right? I think that culture comes from Josh. So I don't think that's a McDermott thing. McDermott is, granted, about accountability and doing your job. I think the family nature that is rooted in Josh being your leader.
Yeah,
and Josh being your spirit animal in that respect, right?
Yeah, and the fact that Buffalo actually, being a blue collar town, encourages that.
Yeah.
There's not really.
Well, and look at the fan base. Like
there's no glitz or glamour to Buffalo.
No,
I mean, everyone knows what Buffalo is at this point. I mean,
listen, no one was proud to wear a Kyle Orton jersey, right? Like Fitz was as close as we got to somebody that embodied the city, right? He had traveled. He was gruff. He made horrific mistakes on the field, but he would have he did bleed for that team. Still does. And I think it was Kelly because of success, right? Fitz because of who he was. And then other than that, there really wasn't ever a connection to another quarterback the Bills had, right?
Yeah.
Until Allen. Regardless of whether Allen wins anything or not, he has reset the clock on the Bills being a successful team for another generation, and I think he'll always be remembered for that. Positively.
Well said. 10 to 20 years, I'll be dead, so I don't care.
That's not true.